What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Hit List. Today we are talking about a very awesome topic. We are talking about top 10 Arrowverse superheroes. Now, this list will not consist any villains that is on the Arrowverse, and it will only consist of people that is on the Arrowverse, not just DC in general. So you're not going to see Batman in this or anything like that. You're going to see the Arrowverse superheroes, and I think you're gonna like it. I know I do. Alright, number 10. Number 10 is Caitlin Snow, also known as Killer Frost. Now, season 1 we saw Caitlin Snow kind of develop from season 1 to season 3 to where she is now. Season 2 had Killer Frost on it, but it was her Earth 2 doppelganger. Then we got to see season 3 with, thanks to Barry Allen's Flashpoint, we got to see a very different Caitlin Snow. We got to see the one that was her to where she actually became a metahuman thanks to the particle accelerator, something that didn't happen in the original timeline. But I think her character is really cool. I mean, it's someone that gets to use some ice puns that we got to see with like Mr. Freeze and Batman and Robin, which, you know, was a horrible movie, but let's face it, Arnold Schwarzenegger was the best part of that movie. But, you know, it's a very cool character, and I think Danielle Panabaker really portrays the character very well. You get kind of the best of both worlds. You get someone who's really smart and, you know, is good with like neurological stuff and good with science, and then you got someone who's also a badass, and there's two different people living inside one body, which is kind of dope too. Alright, number 9. Number 9 also comes from The Flash. We're talking about Cisco Ramon. Now, Cisco doesn't become Vibe until technically the end of season 1, but he doesn't become Vibe until season 2. Cisco Ramon is a very cool character because he's pop culture references or left or right. He's someone who's very smart. He gets to use his abilities, which I like. On this season, season 5, we got to see Sherlock Wells remind him that he has more than one superpower. He has, you know, his vibe superpowers naturally, but he also has his mind. And Cisco Ramon is a very smart dude. He can figure out almost anything. Like anything that's scientific related, he can figure it out, especially under pressure. Put the song right there, but you know, copyright reasons, you know. I'm not even getting monetized yet, so let's not screw up my chances. But, you know, I really think his character has a lot going for it, and I'm kind of upset that season 5 we haven't really got to see too much done with his character. We got to see so much of his character being involved through season 1 and 4, and especially 1, 2, and 3. And here we are at season 5, and they kind of been benching him a lot. I know this season isn't really about Cisco, but it just kind of sucks in my opinion that at the very beginning there was so much to do with him, and then it's just kind of benched him through the rest of the season. I was kind of disappointed about that, but we still got one more episode to see what happens. Alright, number 8. This one comes from Arrow. This is Felicity Smoke, who is also known as Overwatch. Now, Felicity technically becomes Overwatch. She's been Overwatch since season 1. She didn't get the name, however, until season 4. She's kind of like Cisco Ramon's counterpart, but from Arrow. I think when they did The Flash, they kind of took some of Felicity's quirkiness and put it with Cisco, and kind of just... Cisco is The Flash's Felicity, so to speak, because she did it first. She is, you know, again, very smart, and but that's her main power, is her mind and her ability to do almost anything with a computer. She actually invents Archer, spoiler alert, invents Archer, which unfortunately throughout the years turns out it gets used for wrong reasons. And yeah, that's kind of what season 7's like flash forward in time's about, is her program, you know, being used by evil people. Which that goes to show for a lot of characters in superhero movies, not just her. Let's look at Marvel with Tony Stark. You know, Ultron, he created something wrong and he didn't mean to. He meant to do it for good reasons. A lot of good people create things for good reason and they turn out evil. Let's just face that. Alright, number 7, we're talking about Kara Danvers, who is Supergirl. Now, Supergirl, who is also Kara-El, she was born on Krypton naturally, for those who know the story, was born on Krypton. She was having to be sent to Earth, just like her cousin Kal-El. When she was being sent, her pod was knocked off course. She was caught in the temporal zone. So she doesn't get to Earth until years later after her cousin has grown up. And we get to see like a very different twist on Supergirl than we do in the comics. In the comics, especially when it was first starting off, she was kind of a brat. And she's like nothing like that in the show. She's more good-hearted, good-spirited kind of person like her cousin is. Overall, she's just a very cool character. She's a lot like Superman, but different in some areas. And I really like her show. I mean, season 1 was pretty good. Season 2 wasn't as good. Season 3, in my opinion, was the best. Season 4 going on right now is okay. But yeah, I think her character is a very cool character and definitely deserves to be on this list because she's just a cool character. Alright, number 6. Number 6 is John Constantine. John Constantine is a very weird character, but a very necessary character in the show Legends of Tomorrow. He started off on his own show called Constantine, which was on NBC for 13 episodes. Then the show got canceled. Then he went to Arrow season 4, guest starred on an episode of that. And then we got to see him on season 3 of Legends of Tomorrow. And now season 4, he is a series regular. John Constantine, as some of us know, is a kind of like an exorcist, but he's more of a demonologist to where he casts his demons to hell. We got to see through season 3 and 4, that's mainly what these seasons are about of Legends of Tomorrow. He's a very narcissistic, chain-smoking, alcoholic ass, but he's very cool about it too, and he's very necessary, and he's constantly on the brink between good and evil, and he's like being tethered to both sides, and he's like constant battle between that. And I think in a way, even though not all of us every day has to deal with demons, thank God, it's kind of realistic in the fight for good and evil that every one of us fights every day. And in the story, he fights it literally every day. And so his character, I think, is, I don't know, it's like that wedge that's in there. It's not, I mean, I don't know if you call it a wedge, but it's like that mortar. Yeah, that's a little better. It's that mortar that's in there that just kind of makes Legends of Tomorrow fit. It makes the characters all in there fit, it makes the show fit together, it makes it make sense more somehow. And I just really love his character, and I think that putting him on Legends of Tomorrow was the best decision they ever made for that show, because I love the show already, and then when they put him on there, it's just like, okay, it's perfect. Number 5 is Sara Lance, also known as the White Canary, but she don't really go by that often, but that's her superhero name. Most people just call her Sara Lance. But she started off on Arrow. Technically, her character started off in season 1, and we get to hear a lot about her and, going down on the ship with Oliver Queen. And we thought she was dead on season 1. It was a different actress too that played her cameo on season 1. Then when season 2 found out that she was alive, Katie Lotz then joined the show, and I think her as an actress is better than whoever it was on the first one, because when you look back on the first episodes of Arrow and you see that person playing it, I guess since also you're so used to her, Katie Lotz being Sara Lance, it's just like, that's not Sarah, and it just works so much better now that Katie Lotz took over it. I really think her character is awesome because there's been so many canaries, obviously. I mean, we got the White Canary, we got the Black Canary. Before the White Canary was White Canary, she was known as the Canary. We also got a Black Canary who is Dinah, who came on the show in season 5. I mean, it's just like so many different canaries, but in my opinion, Sara Lance will always be the best canary, and she's just badass. She was trained by the League of Assassins. Ra's al Ghul trained her. I mean, she's the best of them all, in my opinion. Okay, number 4 is John Diggle, who is also season 4 finally adopts the name Spartan, which kind of works in a way because, I mean, he's kind of a Spartan kind of a deal. He's got the helmet, which looks like a Spartacus helmet, but it also looks like Magneto from, X-Men, but it's still very cool, and I just love the character. I think David Ramsey just plays an amazing character, period. I mean, he just, hands down, is one of the best characters in the Arrowverse, period. Not just heroes-wise, but in the Arrowverse, period, as far as characters goes, he's one of the best, and I just love him so much. I first saw David Ramsey play on Blue Bloods as the mayor on there, and when I saw him play on Arrow, it just was like so much better. When I actually didn't realize it was the same guy until I looked it up on Wikipedia. I'm like, oh yeah, duh, he was the mayor. Like it kind of clicked with me then. It just made me love the actor even more, and made me love the character even more. And that's something that's very important too with anything that you cast, is that you gotta have good casting, and even better, great casting. And that's what they did here on almost every character in the Arrowverse, but especially with John Diggle. I mean, he's always like the angel on Oliver Queen's shoulder. He's always the guy trying to tell him the right thing to do. It's like, hey man, you know, it's your life, but this is obviously the best thing, you know, to do right here. And he's just kind of, he never really, I shouldn't say he never tells Oliver Queen anything, like to do anything. He does sometimes, but 9 times out of 10, he like powerfully suggests it. He like, you know, suggests it a lot, and he just a lot of times makes Oliver Queen do the right thing. But really, it was always in Oliver's mind in the first place, but he kind of prompts him to do the right thing. I just love that relationship between Oliver and Diggle. It's really awesome. Alright, number 3 is Wells. Now, I just said Wells because there are so many different Harrison Wells versions. There's like Harrison Wells from Earth 1 that was creating Star Labs. It created Star Labs. It was creating the particle accelerator. Then it was Eobard Thawne who killed that Harrison Wells and took over his body on Earth 1. And then we saw Harrison Wells from Earth 2. And then we saw H.R. Wells from Earth 19. Then we had the Council of Wells. And then we had, after that we had Sherlock. Now we got Sherlock Wells going on. And it's just like so many different characters. Like they're supposed to be like the same person but from different Earths, and so many different characters all played by Tom Cavanaugh, and he does such a fantastic job doing it. Now I'm gonna put Harry, HR, and Sherlock for this character just because those are the superheroes of the story. You know, Harry, we got to see, spoiler alerts by the way come on all this, Harry, we got to see him really help out in season 2. You know, was trying to help out his daughter and ended up betraying the team, but he ended up, you know, getting like making up with the team and helping them stop Zoom. And then season 4 we got to see him help with the villain there, and he ended up sacrificing his one thing that makes him a hero, to him at least, is his mind, and he goes stupid, has to lose his intelligence in order to save the day. So he sacrificed that to save the day. Season 3 with H.R. Wells, he sacrificed his life for Iris. Now Sherlock Wells, he hasn't sacrificed anything yet, but there's still one more episode before this season's over with, and that's coming up very soon, this Tuesday. So I don't know if he's going to sacrifice anything. I'm kind of hoping not, because, you know, I like happy endings, but let's face it, it's Arrowverse, it's DC. Happy endings probably aren't really in for the future. Hopefully it's a semi-happy ending for all these shows. But yeah, you know, we don't know what's going to happen, but man, just unbelievable acting. Thank you so much, Tom Cavanaugh. Thank you so much for just making this character so amazing. These characters amazing and believable. I mean, I can literally watch 2 different Wells on the same screen, and I can believe that they're 2 different people, even though it's the same actor playing them. He's so good at it. All right, number 2. Now, number 2, if you people who know me probably know who number 1 and number 2 are, and judging by my shirt, you probably got an idea of what number 2 and number 1 are. Anyways, number 2 is Barry Allen, the Flash. He is just so awesome. His show is actually, it was Arrow and the Flash that it was just those 2 shows when I started watching, and I started watching The Flash first. I watched the first episode of that and then the first episode of Arrow. So technically The Flash was the first thing, I watched them both the same day. Technically The Flash was the first thing I saw of the Arrowverse. And I loved it so much. He really, and to see his character progress so much between these 5 seasons is incredible. And that's really any character that I've named on this list, but the things this guy has gone through, man, I mean, you know, he saw the death of his mother when he was 12, and then he saw the death of his father on end of season 2, and then he was able to bring them both back at the very end of season 2 and the very beginning of season 3, and then had to lose them both again on the first episode of season 3. And he's just like experienced so much loss. I mean, and he just keeps battling through it. He has such this good spirit about him, this light inside him, that he just keeps battling through it, and he doesn't let it break him. He doesn't let it become a villain like we saw, for instance, on season 3 when Savitar killed Iris. That version of Barry Allen in 2024 was completely different than, you know, 2014 through 2019 Barry Allen. I mean, he was broken, he was dark, he was just like twisted, and that was also the same Barry Allen that ended up becoming Savitar, because that a time remnant it was an infinite loop. It's hard to explain in the video, but it was just like, I guess, you know, if he was to lose Iris, he still could become that way, but thankfully he didn't, so he is still there. I could definitely tell he has definitely gotten a lot more, like, he lost a lot of his perkiness, so to speak, but he's definitely still got a lot of light in him. He still tries to save the day, and he's such a cool character, and I love his character so much. Number 1. Now, I'm sure you know who number 1 is, and I am a huge fan. I am actually such a big fan that I have a poster hanging up over here. I'm going to just point my camera. I know this may not look professional, but whatever. Point my poster over here. Very cool poster. So if you haven't figured it out yet, number 1 is Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow. He was also known as the Hood, the Arrow, then the Green Arrow. He was also Ra's al Ghul for a moment there. He was Asala Helm before he was Ra's al Ghul. And it's just like, he's been through so many different character changes, but he's still Oliver Queen. And he's the number 1 coolest character in Arrowverse, period. I will fight anyone and tell them that, because it's true. We talked about Barry Allen and how much he's been through, how much loss he's been through. Oliver Queen has been through that tenfold. I mean, but it definitely messed him up, so let's put it that way. He didn't have the same light that Barry had inside him, but he does have a light inside him. But let's face it, man, some of the things Oliver's done through his years has been pretty bad, and he can easily get that way again, and I can tell that he can snap. I mean, right now we're seeing him battling his stepsister that he just met this season, and he almost let the darkness take over him and kill his stepsister after he found out that she pretty much killed their dad. And he didn't do it, at least not yet. We still got one more episode, but it's like, man, he's definitely a character that's got like good and evil going on inside of him all the time. He is just an incredible character. The actor in general, Stephen Amell, plays his role so perfectly, and he does most of his own stunts. He can do the salmon ladder like perfectly. I mean, the guy who did it, you know, ran the American Ninja Warrior course, ran the whole course, and then did the first obstacle of the second part, and then jumped on the second obstacle because he was tired. But I mean, this guy, he's just amazing. I love the Green Arrow so much. I love him so much that I have a hat, I have a wallet, I have, you know, a bunch of different things of the Green Arrow. And he's just an incredible character. I love him, and he's my favorite DC character as far as the comics go too. Thanks to this show, it got me wanting to read the comics. I love the comics of Green Arrow. He's my character that I play in the Injustice games. He's just an all, hands down, overall amazing character, and I love him a lot. So, that being said, that is my top 10 Arrowverse superheroes, and I hope y'all liked it. I will planning on doing a top 10 Arrowverse supervillains video as well. I know I said I may do all the James Bond movies in order, but I filmed that like about 3 weeks ago now, 2 or 3 weeks ago now, and I didn't really like the way I filmed it. I was, you know, there's just too many problems with it, and I even forgot a whole, like number 11, I forgot the whole thing. Like, I skipped from 12 to 10, and I just, the video sucks. The video sucks, let's put it that way. I'm gonna have to reshoot it, and I'm not sure when I'm gonna reshoot it. I got a lot of other plans in mind too that I want to do, so it may take a little while before you see that video, but I am planning on doing it. I just don't know when. I got a lot of plans in my mind, and I hope y'all like them. I actually got planned for next video. I want to do this, not promising, because I didn't promise, but I said may see this and whatnot, but you didn't see it. I want next video to be an episode of Let's Review about the shows Arrow and The Flash, and then next week about Supergirl and Legends of Tomorrow. Because we're gonna get, you know, the season finales coming up. This week is season finales of Arrow and The Flash. Next week is season finales of Legends of Tomorrow and Supergirl. So it works out perfectly. And I want to do the reviews on that and give you my opinions and just see how things go. And I really can't wait to do those videos because I can't wait to see what happens and tell you all about it. So that being said, thank y'all very much. I'd like y'all to please subscribe to this channel. I really could use some subscribers. You'd make my day if you did that. And comment down below on some of the characters that you think I should have put into this list. What are your top 10 Arrowverse superheroes? Just tell me, you know, maybe some people would like the Flash better, some people like the Green Arrow, agree with me. I mean, obviously that's the right choice. And just tell me what characters that I didn't add to this list, because I wanted to do a longer list, but longer list is longer video, and this has already been a long enough video, and I really didn't want to do that. So yeah, just let me know down below what y'all think, and make sure y'all hit the notification bell, like and subscribe. I'll see y'all later. Y'all stay cool, and remember, you have failed this city. Shh. It would probably look cooler if I had an actual bow. You have failed this city. And now season 4, he is a series regular. I didn't say Siri. I didn't say Siri. I said series.
I don't understand.
Yeah, you don't understand? F you, phone.